Hey, it's Bev with your deep dive work for the month. This month, we are diving deeper by finding the third option. This is one of my favorite coaching techniques with my clients who are struggling to make a choice between one of two options. And I'm offering it to you. It's more challenging to do on your own for sure, because we tend to get very stuck in our position of what's available to us. And that's why it's deep dive work. So here's what you do. Whenever you're struggling to decide between one of two options and you think you have to choose, it's either this or it's that. I'm either going to do this or I'm going to do that. I'm either going to go there or I'm going to go there. I'm either going to say this to them or I'm going to say that to them. I'm either join this or join that, right? And I don't know which one to do. And I'm struggling and I want to do this and I want to do that. And I think this is the right thing to do, but this also has its pros and cons. This also has its pros. Stop a second, take a moment, and ask yourself, what's the third option here? Don't let yourself say there isn't one. There's always a third option. My experience with my clients is when I ask them that, they look a bit shocked. Their eyes kind of open wide. And then I just sit there waiting patiently. And after being perplexed for a little bit, they always find it. I promise you, I'm not making this up. And that third option is usually the right one. It's always the right one. Because when we're at odds and we're stuck in either or thinking, one of us is going to win and one is going to lose. And when it's a battle between two options in ourselves, whichever side loses, we lose, right? So think about this. What are you struggling with right now that you have to make a decision about? And you're struggling because you don't know which decision is better, which option is better. Ask yourself, what's the third option here? And then wait for it. It will come, I promise you. I just want to make myself clear. I'm not talking about a compromise where you're like, fine, let's do this and then it'll be okay. Not at all. I never recommend choosing something that feels like that. It's the third option that goes, oh my gosh, yes, I can have everything I want here. You will always find it. I'll just give you one example that I was working on recently. A client of mine who has a business that sells products was not well. And she had a sales launch coming up, a big launch. So she didn't know what to do. She was trying to decide between pushing through while she was sick and not taking care of herself and not rebuilding and healing, or canceling the launch and not meeting her goals. Pros and cons to both amazing options, both had consequences she didn't want. So when I said, what's the third option? She did that perplexed thing, that shocked thing, thought this, and then it came to her. So obvious, right? I'm going to do the launch, but I'm going to do it in a different way. I'm going to be less involved. And then the ideas just became amazing. When she was stuck in either or, it was like, do the launch all the ways that I've always done it, which involve a lot of my time, a lot of my attention, a lot of my energy, or don't do it at all. Rest and heal. Third option was do the launch while I'm resting and healing. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have to think about launches differently. I'm going to reuse some old material. I'm going to do much less personal appearances. I'm going to have my team brainstorm on what they can contribute. I'm going to delegate some of it to people that I think will be brilliant at some of the things that I have traditionally done in a launch. Amazing. Not only did that enable her to find a third option where she got everything she wanted? It propelled her thinking forward about the whole of her business. So good.